It's Tuesday, February 19. Here are the stories making the news for today. President David Granger will soon meet with the Guyana Lands and Surveys Commission and the Ministry of Indigenous Peoples Affairs to address all issues relating to the Amerindian land titling project.
His Excellency the President has made a decision that within a month he will meet with the Lands and Surveys Commission and the Minister of Indigenous Peoples Affairs, and to sit down with those two entities and ensure that all of the hurdles which are in place that is blocking the issuing of titles to land by our indigenous peoples, that those matters are cleared. As I said, I know this is a matter that's come across all of the Rupununi, and therefore I thought that it was important enough to make that very clear and unequivocal statement that this is what His Excellency the President has said he's going to do.
Minister of State Joseph Harmon addressing residents of Sand Creek Region 9 last Sunday. Under the Guyana Red Investment Fund, GRIF, the government in 2013 signed a $3 billion document for the implementation of the Amerindian land titling and demarcation project, which concluded in 2016. However, the Indigenous Peoples Affairs Ministry requested an extension in 2017, resulting in $165 million being earmarked for the advancement of the remaining identified areas for land titling. The ALT project seeks to achieve three primary goals: the completion of land titles issues and the demarcation process for all indigenous villages that submitted requests, increased use of existing and alternative mechanisms to resolve land titling disputes, and a communication strategy including a handbook describing the process of titling, demarcation, and social and economic impact of secured land tenure. Minister of Indigenous Peoples Affairs Sidney Alicock had recently said that while work is ongoing, some technical and political issues within some communities had stalled the progress of the project. Last month, the Ministry of Indigenous Peoples Affairs and the Amerindian Peoples Association signed a memorandum of understanding for the proposed International Land and Forest Tenure Facility. The project seeks to provide innovative ways to address land titling among other areas of concern to the indigenous peoples. At the last National Tushaus Council back in July 2018, Minister Alicock distributed land titles to several indigenous communities. Reporting for InfoHub, Alexis Rodney.
The Guyana Elections Commission today voted to commence house-to-house registration. This follows a decision that general and regional elections cannot be held in 90 days. The motion was put to a vote by the Commission, which saw the commissioners voting 3 in favor, while 2 voted against. However, one of the People's Progressive Party's commissioners abstained from that vote. Meanwhile, on the issue of insufficient funds and the immediate commencement of house-to-house registration, the commissioners voted 3 in favor, while 3 voted against. However, this saw the GCOM chair breaking the tie in support of the motions put forward. GCOM will now inform President David Granger on its decisions. The Commission is expected to meet again next week based upon the request from representatives of the America, Britain, Canada, and the European Union who they are expected to meet. More details on this story can be found on our website and social media platforms. Let's now turn our attention to more news coming out of the successful ministerial outreach. Leticia Isaacs tells us that students of the Upper Takatu, Upper Essequibo region are now beneficiaries of a smart classroom located within the Lethem Learning Resource Center, a first for the community.
The smart classroom, recently commissioned by the Minister of Education, Dr. Nicolette Henry, was the brainchild of the Education Ministry in partnership with NSERD and the Regional Democratic Council.
We are working to ensure that we have 21st century teaching methods in our schools, and the Smart Classroom Initiative is an important component of technology-enabled learning. So what this will do, it will bridge the gap in some ways and certainly facilitate networking and communication with the coastland and the hinterland.
Students of St. Ignatius Secondary School explain how the initiative will benefit their region.
Some students learn at practice are looking at things and looking and viewing and searching and exploring for yourself rather than sitting in class bored as a teacher.
I think this program serves as a great initiative to help us to learn. I don't find it enjoyable just looking at the textbook all day, so this will be very nice.
The Smart Classroom is equipped with a smart board for interactive learning, internet access, and houses a resourceful e-library. This project is in keeping with the aim of the Education Ministry to provide enhanced learning opportunities for all. For InfoHub, Leticia Isaacs.
In the same vein, Seneca Thorne was in Carassabay, where residents were given the good news that the government will be constructing a secondary school and dormitory in the South Pacaraima village by 2020.
This commitment was made during a meeting on Sunday with Minister of Indigenous Peoples Affairs Sidney Allicock and Minister within the Ministry Valerie Guida-Lo and Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs Basil Williams during the ministerial outreach. Residents spoke of the need for a secondary school and a dormitory to be constructed to ease the burden of parents with children living in far-flung areas.
For some families, it is a burden, an economic burden. Here in Carassabay, some of us, we don't have a stable income, right? So to provide for these students, it is a burden.
The Carassabay Primary School currently has a secondary department that accommodates 173 students from the village and neighboring communities such as Paipang, Tiger Pond, Yarong Paru, Tipiru, and Rokomoto. Headmistress Michelle George explained that the students are being housed with guardians in the community.
Some guardians, they are having 5, 4, 3, 2 children like that at each family.
Okay.
And we also need help with clothing. Some of them, they have no clothing, Minister. If you can please assist with clothing also. Sometimes you would like to take them to church and they always say there is no clothes. And how much we can afford. Uniforms also.
Minister Guida-Lo said that the construction of the school and dormitory will be high on the agenda for 2020.
That is why we need to go back there. We need you to get us back there too, because we want to continue the good work, all right, to support the school children.
In the interim, the Ministry of Indigenous Peoples Affairs will provide a monthly stipend to the 30 guardians of the 79 pupils. Uniforms are already in the village to be distributed to the students. Additionally, the 2019 national budget caters for the extension of the department, and for the first time this year, the students will be sitting the Caribbean Examination Council CSEC examination. Seneca Thorne, InfoHub.
$19 million bridge for Wakapau and its colors galore as the Ministries of Business and Agriculture launch their MASH bans. The details of these and more when we return.
The future of Guyana has never looked better. Our nation is on the cusp of a development program like never seen before. While Guyana is now emerging as an energy giant through the discovery of massive reserves of oil and natural gas, it is your government's intention that the huge benefits emerging from this will go where it matters most, to you, the people of this beloved country. There is a surge of confidence in the way Guyana is governed once again, and the level of investor interest is unprecedented. Guyana is poised to become the breadbasket of the region, and the pace at which this nation will grow through prudent fiscal management will be nothing short of impressive. But more than anything else will be the way every Guyanese, regardless of color, class, or creed, becomes a part of this historic period of national transformation, sharing in the wealth and well-being of it all as one Guyana.
Thanks for staying with us. Residents of Wakapau are now benefiting from a new bridge recently constructed by the Ministry of Public Infrastructure at a cost of $19 million. Natasha Smith traveled to the indigenous community in Region 2 and filed this report.
Wakapau, located in Region 2, is an indigenous community made up of several islands where residents have settled. The daily commute here is done by boats which travel through the Wacopow Creek and man-made trenches leading to homes. However, since the establishment of the community, persons have tried to bridge these islands in order to access schools, health facilities and farmlands among other places. An initial bridge constructed by CMAP was an improvement. However, during the rainy season, the water rose, making crossing the bridge dangerous. Arlinda Richards tells InfoHub of how she fell one night while crossing the bridge.
I suffered for 3 months. I had 5 children to send to 2 secondary and 3 primary, and it was not easy for me.
After Richard's accident, residents came together and decided to use social media as a means of highlighting their problem. Resident Joyce Fredericks was one of those persons.
We come together and he take us out, and along with the help of God, the people pray about it and it gone out. And eventually now we hear that some people come in to see the walkway, the bridge, no? And so comes we get to the bridge. And I'm so thankful.
The $19 million project undertaken by the Ministry of Public Infrastructure saw the construction of a new wooden bridge equipped with steel rails and solar lights. Several residents from the community gained employment for the construction of the bridge. The bridge, which will benefit almost 350 residents, has been welcomed by residents of Wacopow. Farmer and member of the village council, Oscar Phillips, is one of the many satisfied villagers.
It will really be a benefit for us, right? Because I know the bridge is a really a nice gateway from this Baroda end to Myrie. And for my part is that I do farm actually about 2 miles from here over there. And it will really facilitate me, right, to go and do my farm work.
Reporting for InfoHub, Natasha Smith.
The Ministries of Business and Agriculture will be taking to the road on Saturday, February 23, decked in colors bright blue, green and gold. Brittany Roberts was at the band launches and has more to tell us.
Under the theme Rediscovering El Dorado, the Land of Golden Opportunities, the Ministry of Business unveiled their band yesterday morning at the Sophia Exhibition Center. Designer Jermaine Brooms said that the blue and gold costumes represent Guyana's waters and El Dorado and the golden opportunities Guyana has to offer.
So today we will launch this band that is blue and gold. That signify the blue, signify the water and the richness of our rivers, and the El Dorado within the gold.
Minister of Business Dominic Gaskin shared his anticipation for his ministry to take the streets on Saturday.
I'd be looking forward to a fun day. We're also in it to win it, as I've said before.
Later that day, the Ministry of Agriculture launched their band under the theme From Farm to Fork, Grow More, Add Value. Expressing his satisfaction, Minister of Agriculture Noel Holder briefly remarked on the costume's deeper meaning.
The main costume is depicting the major export crops to bring in foreign exchange into our country. However, it is also reflecting the importance of our local agro-processing industry and the use of our local products.
The Agriculture Ministry's band launch also saw performances by soca artist Jomo Primo, while the official song for the ministry's band was performed by Calvin Burnett. For InfoHub, Brittany Roberts.
Steel pan fever hit the Cliff Anderson Sports Hall over the weekend as thousands gathered at the Republic Bank-sponsored Mashramani Panorama competition.
The 10 school bands riveted the crowd with selections from a recently honored composer, Valerie Rodway, while the 3 large bands did not fail to continuously bring the crowd to their feet. Acknowledging the mammoth turnout, Director of Sport Christopher Jones said this year's support by the public highlights the need for a larger venue next year.
The atmosphere here in the Cliff Anderson Sports Hall is magnificent. In fact, the attendance is great. I think essentially that the steel pan competition has outgrown the Cliff Anderson Sports Hall, so definitely we will have to look for another venue in 2020. Kudos to Republic Bank for keeping this panorama alive every year.
In the small youth band category, the Dolphin Secondary claimed first place, while President's College and the Berbice High School claimed second and third places respectively. In the large youth band category, a crowd favored the GBTI Buxton Pride Steel Orchestra copped the first position, followed by the West Demerara Secondary and the Bishops High School. In the large band category, the Guyana Police Force Steel Orchestra emerged victorious, while Parkside and National School of Music orchestras followed in second and third respectively. This is the 11th sponsored steel band competition by Republic Bank as part of Guyana's Mashimani celebrations. Launched since 2009, the annual competition aims to celebrate the creative expressions of the steel pan. Letitia Isaacs for info.
That's all for this evening. Connect with us on WhatsApp, like and subscribe to our Facebook page for notifications. You can also follow us on Instagram for updates and visit our website at dpi.gov.gy. Your bridge and weather reports are up next. Goodbye.